Hi, and welcome to the Spindle Saga podcast. Today is Saturday, November 7th, 2015. Sorry, until I blanked on the year there. And this is episode 12. I'm Jessica, your host, and thank you for joining me today. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk about spinning, knitting, and sewing, because I've added sewing sort of to the end of the podcast now. So we're going to get started. So I have a lot of finished objects, and so I'm going to have to go off my list to make sure I don't skip any of them. But, so I finished my monster that I showed you guys. Okay, it's over here. And I did Be the Basement Monster, which is a Rebecca Danger pattern. It's in one of her books. And I struggled with this pattern. I did not read the pattern very well. And it is not the pattern's fault that I simply just can't read when I'm in the car on my way to New Mexico. And I read like the first couple of rows and kind of followed along. I was like, oh, it's the same thing. Anyways, it wasn't the same thing. It changed. And I just kind of epically failed, but I'm going to try it again. But I did finish the monster because I had to for Quidditch, or I wasn't going to get it done in time. So I just went with it. This is B, or my really jacked up version. I used mustache yarn in the wall colorway for the main body on her Sweater Girl base, which is a worsted weight. And then I used some 2 of my hand scraps left over from a hat I did in the Chosen One colorway, and it's also a DK weight for the ears and for the feet. I would have used them for the arms, but I didn't have enough, so I had to use the wall colorway. And this poor thing's face just, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It was my first true attempt at a big monster. And hey, I have a stuffed animal, right? My dad said it was cute. So, hey, somebody thought it was cute. That works out. I am going to try it again, though. I have yarn already ready to go to make a second one and truly follow the pattern this time. Okay, I also did the Yowza. I don't think I might have shown it this past summer, but I picked it back up this month, or in October, and I finished my Yowza Way shawl number 4 out of Miss Babs Yowza in the Perfectly Reckless colorway. And I did not, again with me following patterns, so I followed the pattern, but I live in Texas where it is really hot all the time, and I don't really care for big shawls to wrap around my arms. Like, they're usually not big enough. Like, I would have to knit an epically huge shawl to do that because I'm just a bigger person. And I just wouldn't wear one, I don't think. And so I like to wear them like a scarf. And so I just knit basically until I got bored. And when I got bored, I was like, all right, let's do the edge. And so I still have a lot of yarn left. So, I probably could knit. I'm hoping to be able to knit a hat out of it. We'll see. I'm knitting a granny square first because I wanted one. I'm trying to do granny squares out of all of my random skeins or cakes of worsted weight yarn just to throw in a blanket. And so, and they're kind of an easy, mindless project I can work on during nap time because I work at a preschool. Sometimes during nap time I actually have the opportunity to knit. Not always. A lot of the times I'm working or I have a kid that won't sleep and I have to, teach them something during that time. But on the odd chance I get a chance to knit, I like to have one of those handy. But here is one that I did. Again, it is not as big as the pattern called for. Normally they're much huger, but it is really long. For wrapping around, it works great. It does. It's really dark in this room because it's way later than I wanted it to be to record. But yeah, I love it. It's so fun, and it wraps around so nicely, so it's more than big enough, and it'll stay. I have a shawl that is really a beautiful shawl, but it doesn't wrap around very nicely. It's really, I always have to have a shawl pin. In fact, I have to have 2 shawl pins to stick in either side, or like it'll fall off me while I'm at work, and that's always frustrating. So this is awesome. Okay, so FOs. I spun a ton last month. I'm doing a spinning owl for the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup, and in my owl proposal, I'm to spin 1.5 pounds of fiber, and I took a picture of like 2 or 3 pounds of fiber. I was like, I'm gonna pick my 1.5 pounds from this, and I had to spin and ply, if plying was necessary, a pound of it for my halfway point, because I had 2 months to do the halfway point, and then I have 1 month to do the rest. So I was like, okay, well that'll be like 2/3, you know. And so I did that, and so I did. I'm doing a transfiguration owl, and I had to. So I'm disappearing 1.5 pounds of fiber, and then I had to do something where I practice or learn a new technique. And so I'm doing 2 of them. Yeah. And so I did thick and thin because I took a class on it and I really want to get better at it. And then I did long drops. So I did 4 ounces of 2 of my hand organic merino in the FE colorway. And this was the only 4 ounces of my 1.5 pounds can be singles. The rest of it has to be plied. And that was for the thick and thin singles. And so this is the thick and thin singles. And it was a lot of fun to do. It was challenging. But it's cool. It's a fun yarn. And I'm trying to get back into weaving, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think this would be really fun to throw in a warp. Or no, not a warp, a weft. It would not be a good warp. It would like break in 5 seconds. Because it is, the slubs, I have washed it, so the slubs are a little stronger now. But you would not want to like be tensioning this. I mean, if you plied it, sure, but okay, at least the one I did. I would not use this for a work, but for a weft it would be really fun. So that's kind of my goal. Okay, so did that. Okay, I did like an Aran worsted weight. I was really going for like a consistent worsted weight. I think I did more like an Aran weight, honestly. It's worsted in parts, and then it is pretty thick in others. It's BFL Besties is the colorway, and it is also from Take by Hand, and it is so fun. It's purples and blues and pinks, and it is my colors. Love it. Okay, and then those 2 were both 4 ounces. This one was, I think, like 6. It was more than 6. Because the other one was 4. It's like more than 6. I have a Moon Rover gradient that I got in a club, and I can't remember the colorway name. And I plied it with some llama that I had. And I haven't finished the plying. Like, I ran out of room on my bobbin. I actually filled my entire jumbo woolly winder bobbin, which was so cool. I've never done that before. I was so excited. But I was kind of sad because I was thinking it was big enough to hold all of it, all 10 ounces, and it didn't, unfortunately. But it's still pretty cool. And I applied it with this brown so that I wouldn't have to narrow apply the thing and lose yardage, and I did it to kind of, well, the llama is really soft and warm, and to kind of make my yarn go further. So we're gonna see how this goes, but it's very fall colors. It's orange and light blue, and there's a bunch of brown. I don't know if you can really tell. I have some pictures on Ravelry that you are welcome to check out. Hold on, I'm gonna grab my water bottle. Okay. Sorry, I left it over there. Okay, so there's that. And then for one of my classes, I did a skein of yarn. I just spun 4 ounces. I did this I had started Effie. I hadn't started the other things, but they were for my owl. And for Spinzilla, I started spinning, oh, the other thing that was for the owl, hold on, it's over here, sorry, was this. It was 4 ounces sport weight, because that doesn't equal a pound what I just gave you, was this, and this is 4 ounces. This is 2 of my hand Polworth silk, and I'm doing a combination spin between 5 different braids to get a sweater quantity. I didn't have 5 of one color. I do have some that are all one, but not of this fiber content in colors. I really wanted to do this. I don't know why, but I did. So I'm doing it. Anyways, so this is a combination of Life is a Season, Calavera, Outer Limits, Make Love Not Horcruxes, and there is a 5th one. And I always remember 4 of them and not 5. Hold on. Outer Limits, Calavera, Life is a Season. It's on my Ravelry page, y'all. Oh my gosh, that is so gonna bother me now. Okay, if I remember it, I'll share it with you in a minute. Oh my gosh, it's really gonna bug me. Okay, I'm moving on. So for one of the classes I was really hoping to get a fingering weight. I didn't. I think I did more like a sport weight, but it's cool. On BFL, it is Mishuto, which is also by 2 of my hand. It is pink and purple and white. In case you didn't know, my favorite color is purple. So most of the stuff I make is purple. Well, if you're gonna knit something for yourself, it should be in your favorite color. So, got that. So yeah, love this. I have another braid of it, since I'm not gonna do socks with it because I didn't get enough yardage. And I don't really do a whole lot of sport weight socks because they're really warm. And again, I live in Texas where it's never cold, or it's cold for like 2 weeks. I might do something like, obviously I will do something else with it because I have it. So that's all the spinning. And then something that is so exciting to share with you is, okay, yeah, I got everything. Okay, sorry, I'm checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so every year the Plucky group on Ravelry does like a month of knit all the Plucky things, and you have to start and finish your item in that time. This year I did not finish my item because I jacked it up, and I should have done a hat like I did last year. I did a cabled hat, and then I tried to do a woven scarf, and I didn't finish it, and so it sat on my loom for a long time, like over a year, because last month I finished it and took it off. Actually, no, it was last Sunday, so it was over a year and a month even. It was crazy. So I haven't cut all the million trillion ends. I must say, if you're gonna weave a new project and you're like new to weaving, don't be overly complicated with it if you get bored really easily like I do. Because I made a really cool warp, and then I decided I wanted my weft to look just like my warp. And that was my ultimate epic downfall. If I had just made the warp look really cool, and I just used one yarn for the weft, which is the horizontal ones, I think I would have been more successful, because every 10 rows I had to change colors. And it was a specific color, you know, because I went in order. I repeated the same pattern over and over again. And for me, it was tedious because this was 100. The warp itself was 132 inches. And the scarf was supposed to be around 100. I think like 102 was my goal. I don't know what I ended up doing, but the other day I was like, all right, you know what, I'm done with it. Like, it's been on there forever. I don't even know where I'm at. I don't even care. And so I just cut it off the loom. And then I used the sewing machine, and I zigzagged 50,000 times over it, and then I folded it and zigzagged again. So it's folded on one side. And I did it on both ends. Yeah. And I finished it. And it is super long. Hold on, let me take this off. So here it is. It is really fun. There's like a million ends on that one side. But it is Plucky. most of it is Plucky Feet. I like weaving with Plucky Feet. I don't like knitting with it. I'm gonna have to try to wash some Plucky Feet and try knitting with it again, because that Zilver that I showed you last time, that bright pink beautiful shawl, I haven't touched because I can't stand the feel of the yarn. I hate it. But I love the way this feels woven, so I'm sure I'm gonna love the shawl when it's knit. I just really hate knitting it. But this was fine. This is Princess Bone, Fisherman's Warp. Okay, Princess Bone is the yellow. Fisherman's Warp is the gray. Skies of November is the blue. The orange is Sticky Toffee, and the brown is Sherlock. All of those yarns are Plucky Feet except the gray, which is the Fisherman's Warp, and it is Primo fingering, because I didn't happen to have a gray when I worked this over a year ago. But yeah, it is really, really nice. I think my edges are a lot better. They're still not great, but I think they're a lot better than the other things I've woven, which isn't a lot because I hadn't done this in a year. So I did immediately work something else on my loom. I don't have it up here with me to show you. I thought it'd be kind of awkward. But I'm using a 2 by hand stirred merino silk, stirred as a colorway on singles for the warp, with some random bits of what I used for the warp. That is the weft, sorry. The warp, which is the vertical strands that I did first. I used Lazy Cat yarns in their merino silk base, and I used the Don't Blink colorway, which is a gray, and I used some random bits of some leftover Flamingo on Ritalin from 2 by hand. And so I'm thinking of using that for my Durmstrang class in the Harry Potter group, because you had to use some gray. We're going to see if I do something else with gray, then I'm going to use it for the class where you had to kill a skein of yarn, where you had to use up every bit of scrap. So I really got to take a picture of that scrap ball before I use it all up, because I used some of it for the warp, and then I intend to just use the rest of it up just to use it up, so it doesn't, live in my house anymore. It's, you gotta use it up, so you can just get rid of it. I have enough yarn, Anyways, so this was fun. I just, gotta be bored one night to cut all those 50,000 ends. The one nice thing though about weaving, I'll try to show you. When you do change colors, or if you, your bobbin on your shuttle runs out of yarn and you need to, use a different one, is that you can weave your ends in as you go. So instead of having a million ends to take a tapestry needle, some of them I didn't do very well, but let me see if I can show you. So I just weave that little end in. See how that blue is? I don't know if you can see. Is like in the middle. All I have to do is cut it, and it's done. I know, it's so awesome, right? So I'm not gonna sit here with a tapestry needle. I just gotta cut them. But there's a million of them, so I just don't want to do it. I'm lazy. It took me, forever to cut the thing off the loom, so we'll see how long it takes me to trim the ends. Okay, let me see what else is there to share. I think that's all the FOs. So now we're gonna go into whips. So I've been knitting on that purple shawl. Oh wait, I never showed this one. Okay, anyways. So I got tired of the Zilver on the pink because I hated that yarn. And I had this other yarn that I really wasn't crazy about the color at first. I mean, it's a purple, but I just was like, I really wanted to knit that pink yarn. Like, I really want to knit it so bad. And I've taken a break from it, so maybe I'll knit on it again. And this yarn feels amazing. Like, if this was in that pink colorway, I'd be wearing it right now. But I'm doing a lace. I'm doing lace for the first time ever. The second time ever, because I've tried it before and failed, and I haven't ever picked that shawl up again. Oddly enough, it was out of Plucky Feet, so that might be why. Jeez. Anyways, so I've been knitting this out of Snug Fingering from Plucky, and it is amazing. Like, if you can ever get a skein of this yarn, like, you should get one. It is, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And if I knew the fiber content, which I'm sure I don't, and I don't have on here, I would tell you what it was. And I don't have an iPad near me either. but it's like, I want to say 70% merino, but I don't think it's that much. I think it's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% alpaca. That's what I think it is. And it feels amazing. Amazing. And so this is the Lady Violet colorway. It's a dark purple and it's awesome. And I'm knitting Warwick by Irish Girly Knits. And let me see if I have a picture that doesn't give away anything. Here we go. Sorry for the crinkling, but there's the shawl. Oh my gosh. There we go. You can see that. So I love the shawl. So I'm on the lace, but I was just starting it. I got to row 15 and I dropped a stitch and I jacked it all up trying to take it out. And so I'm just going back to the beginning and I'm going to knit and then I'm just going to restart the lace. And right when I got to row 15, I was like, yeah, you know, okay, I'm going to finish this row. And then when I go home, I'm going to get a lifeline in. And apparently I was, you know, one row too late. So I'm going to start putting in lifelines probably every 5 lace rows, just for my peace of mind. It's a 24, let me see, what is that? Yeah, it's a 24 row lace chart thing. So probably like every 5 rows is what I'm going to do. Just because I have to be crazy about it so I don't end up ripping out all of my knitting. Or I'll never ever knit anything out of lace. Or finish anything out of lace. Okay, the other thing I'm doing. Oh wait, that is not it. That is, I don't know what that is. Oh. Is I am knitting a pair of socks. Yeah, they're in here. Okay. They were in my purse. Anyways, so I am knitting the Swirl E-Socks by Susie White. And I'm going to use the Boxed Heels pattern by Janelle Rockwell. Those are both free patterns on Ravelry. I'm going to use those in that for the heel because I'm using a self-striping yarn and I'm like crazy about the stripes. Like I will not do a gusset heel with anything to screw that up unless I'm doing like a must-have crazy socks kind of thing and I'm doing it on purpose. And I'm not. I want these strips to be like perfect. So, yeah. And the box heel is a short row heel. So I have some mustache solid, I have a ton of solid colored yarn floating around. So I'm going to use one of those for this heel. That or I'm going to ask Stacy for, I mean, I might pull from the center of the ball to do that heel. I might do that. So it'll still stripe, but my stripes on my the rest of the sock, you know, on the top of the foot are going to be exactly the way they're supposed to because I want them that way. And I haven't gotten very far. I just started the pattern, so you can barely tell. I'm doing these on DPNs, but the pattern is over 8 rows and I did 64 rows. The pattern is over 64. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. There's a chart in our written directions and it's over 8 stitches. And so I'm doing 64 stitches, not rows. Anyway, so I finally finished the ribbing today and I just started the pattern, so you can't even tell. But this is out of Mustache Yarn in the Exploding Rainbow. So I'm on to the 3rd white speckly row. And then the next color is orange. Actually, I think I just got to the orange. So these are a lot of fun. And this is a really simple pattern. It's supposed to look good in self-striping yarn. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. Let me see if I have the pattern in the bag. Let me see if I have a picture of what the sock looks like. That is the tag. Here it is. I'm gonna. Here it is. I always print them in black and white because I try to save on ink. There you go. So it swirls around, but it's supposed to look good. So we'll see. I also intend to do a Lollipop Yarns one because she's doing a knit along in her group for like a skein of lollipop yarn. I don't know, but I love her yarn, so I was like, oh, I'll just participate and have fun. I probably won't win, but who cares? I'll get a pair of socks out of it. So, and I believe you can use whips, and I have a lollipop whip that I would really like to finish. So all I need is a heel on one sock, and when I knit the second sock, I decided I wanted it to be taller, so I need to rip out the binding on the first sock and make it taller. So that way they, you know, they match. They're not, you know, woo. That would be a little strange. Okay. Now we're on to stash enhancements. Okay. So the way I'm going to break this segment up is I'm going to do all of the knitting and spinning enhancements. And then, because I don't have any sewing to show you guys, because I haven't sewn anything lately. I have some sewing stuff to do. I just haven't finished anything to show. And then I do have some sewing enhancements, but I'm going to do those at the end. So if you don't really care about that, you don't feel compelled to watch if you don't want to. You know, do what you want. So let's see. We're going to start with, so I went to the BPFF, which stands for Blackland Prairie Artisan and Fiber Fair. I finally figured it out, y'all. It only took me like a whole month to tell you, and it's over, so yeah, you know. But when I went, I got some cool stuff, and I left the skein. Oh my gosh, I only grabbed one of them. I got 2 skeins of yarn while I was there. I got a self-striping skein from Round Table Yarns, and I got to see Karen, who dyes the yarn, and she's super nice and fun, and so I got to visit with her for a little bit, and I left her skein of yarn in my room, which is far away from the camera, so sorry, Karen, but your yarn was pretty. I got her fall colorway that she had just come out. I want to say that was the first time she had it for sale, but I could be making that up. Anyway, so I got that. Hang on. Sorry. Anyways, so I got that, and then I got a skein of Alicia Goes Around, and it is in the Bevy base, which is this DK weight with 50% superwash merino, 50% silk, and there's 230 grams, and it's a DK weight, and I have coveted this yarn for like 3 years. I finally was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go and buy a skein, just one, so I can make a cute hat with it, and it's amazing. I can't wait to knit with it. It feels amazing. And I already have the pattern picked out. I'm going to knit, I believe it's called Gone Glamping. And it is a pattern by the Plucky Knitter. I think it's by her. If not, it's one of her, it's like published by her or something. Okay. The other thing I got at the festival, which I'm super excited about, actually. The whole reason this skein exists is because of this tool that I bought. Okay, so I got a new Niddy Noddy. I have a 1-yard Niddy Noddy and a 61-inch Niddy Noddy. And the 61-inch one frustrates me to no end because it comes apart all the time. Like, it's supposed to come apart, you know, so you can pack it away. But it comes apart when you're trying to use it, which is just irritating. And so I'm always shoving like fiber in it or random pieces of fabric to try to jam it together to like get it to stay. And it's 61 inches, which is not really, you know, I have to have a calculator nearby to, you know, multiply 200 strands by 61 divided by 36. I mean, come on, like, who has time for that? And their names were, I think his name was Alan B. Carr Woodworks, and they were at the BPFF, and they sold a bunch of stuff. They sold like anything with wood. They sold like yarn bowls and reed stands. They sold wine bottle stoppers. They sold a bunch of things that I had no idea what they were, but they also sold Niddy Noddies. They only sold one size, but they said like 8 people asked them if they sold smaller Niddy Noddies, so hopefully next year they will have smaller ones. Because I would love to get another one. I love this Niddy Noddy. So it's a Niddy Noddy, right? Hang on, let me scoot back so you can see this. Okay, and here's the other piece. This piece is the only piece that comes off. The bottom does stay on, so that does limit its, you know, packing friendliness to some degree, but I can fit it. I haven't had issues with being, as long as I can take this piece off, it's not so bad. But I'm going to show you this piece, both the other end too. They're nicely curved on the ends, so when you're wrapping your yarn around, you know, it doesn't fall off, which I have so many issues with for some reason. So irritating. And you put it on, and there is like a little line that you line it up with, so you know where it lines up, and you take this and you stick it through the hole, and it holds it in place, right? And then you do your thing. You tie your yarn ties and everything. Well, then what you do, because of these little bridges to get your skein out. Now you have to be careful. I have to be careful that I don't wind it too tightly, because then it's a little difficult. But you pull this out and it drops down, and then your skein comes off. It's so awesome. And it is a 2-yard knitting eye. So all you got to do is count your strands on one side and multiply by 2. And I can do that so much easier than multiplying by 61 and dividing by 36. I don't know why, it's just amazing. I love it. I love it. So, well, when I got it and I came home, I didn't have anything to put on it. And I said, oh my gosh, to my dad. I was like, I've got to spend something. So I spent this in one evening so that I would be able to use my knitting knotty. I was so excited. I'm such a dork. Okay. So that is all of the, oh no, I got another knitting enhancement. I love mustache yarn. Like, I probably have a problem, but it's okay because Stacy's nice. And she did a kit with Gelby and Tuft Woolens. The sock soap is downstairs. I put it with my other sock soap already, just so it wouldn't get lost or accidentally used for bathing instead. But I got her Day of the Dead kit, and the yarn is just so pretty. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to knit this, y'all. So this is Calaveras. It's a 12 stripe skein, and it is on her Ritz sock base. Love it. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. I'm so excited. I have so much of her yarn, y'all. I could probably knit a pair of her socks every month of the year. In fact, that's my goal next year. Desert Vista Dye Works is doing the officially unofficial knit along or something, and so you knit like a pair of Desert Vista Dye Works socks like every month, and then you, I don't know, you get prizes or something. But I'm gonna do my own unofficial knit along and knit a pair of mustache socks every month. No prize, except that I'll have 12 pairs of Stacy socks, and I will have 12 skeins of yarn out of stash. Because my feet are so big, it uses almost an entire skein. So, you know, it's a win-win. And then I can feel like I can justify all my yarn. Okay, so you got that. And then, so Tuft Woolens, for those of you that don't know, makes soap for knitted items and bath soap for, you know, regular people to use, and hand balm. So her Sugar Skull scent was the special scent we got. And so here's the bath soap. I mean, it's just in a little package, like it's soap. I mean, it's not that exciting. And then here's the bath bomb. And then Gelby made us these little tins with the little skulls. There you go. Here, I'm gonna scoot up. And then inside are these little marker. It's a marker that's like on a little lobster claw. And the little, I don't think you can see it, but it's a little skull. So yeah, it was cute, and it came in a little bag with their little logos on it, I think. Well, okay, it says Mustache and Tuft. Gelby didn't make it onto the bag. I don't know why. I thought it. No, it doesn't say Gelby on the bag, but it says their little logos, and then there's the little Sugar Skull pin in the bag. But yes, it smells really good. And now this yarn will forever smell that way. It's awesome. So this, because I really do want to do the lollipop yarn socks, this will be a December project for sure. Okay. Now we're on to sewing and stuff. So for Halloween, my mom and I went to a Halloween party at one of our local quilt stores. Surprisingly enough, even though I live in an extremely small town in North Texas, so I live north of the Dallas area, and like an hour north. So there's quilt stores in McKinney, but up here there's like 4 quilt stores near me. It's crazy. There was one in Durant, there's one in Denison, there's one in Van Alstyne, there's one in Savoy and Whitesboro. So I mean, literally in all directions, and where I live, there are quilt stores. There are 5 of them. Well, unfortunately, the Durant one is closing, but we went to the Durant store for a Halloween party, and we did a game. We all picked a fat quarter, and every time someone said the word bobbin, we had to pass the fat quarter to our left. So we did that. I don't have my fat quarter over here to show you guys. We played some games. It was the last day for me to finish my owl. And so I actually had to spin. I brought my spinning wheel and spun. And I finished the binding on a mug rug, but I mailed it already, so I can't show you guys what it looks like. But I gave it to my swap partner, and she got it, and she hasn't opened it yet. But she told me she was making herself wait till she mailed mine. She felt bad because she hadn't mailed it yet. But it was cute. I made her the canning jar. Or canning day block out of the Farm Girl Vintage book by Lori Holt. And I made her a 12-inch block, and then I put like a 1.5-inch border around it, and then I bound it. And I gave her a fat quarter and some coffee. So I hope she likes it. But it was fun, and I did all the jars fun. They were like, I did a jar of cupcakes, so I used a cupcake fabric. I did 2 jars of cherries because I had 2 different cherry fabrics. It was fun to do. But anyways, so we went to the Durant quilt store, and I love that canning jar. So I decided, here's the back quarter I want. It was here. So I'm gonna use this for the 1930s farmer's wife. So long. Sorry. Hold on, let me get a drink. And I love that candy jar block. So I want to do a bunch of jars with things in them that you don't, that aren't like flowers or just random. Like I want things in my jars. So I got ants. Yeah, I'm gonna have a jar of ants. I'm so excited. A jar of ladybugs. They were having a big sale at the Durant store, because they're going out of business. But I got scissors. I mean, come on. And then I got this like sewing stuff. I'm gonna try to do some fussy cutting to get some buttons and things. Since then I went to another store. I don't know what the other store was. Now that I think about it, I can't think of what the other store was, but I found, I went to Celeste this week. Oh my gosh, I don't have it to show you either. That's sad. Because they had a really beautiful quilt made at Celeste that I went to on Tuesday at the Quilt Mercantile in Celeste. And it was there when I turned in my row by row quilt, which I'm going to show you at the end. And I really wanted the kit, but I was like, I can't really justify that right now. And I went back and they still had the one kit left, and I said it was fake, so I got it. Yeah, so it's mine. it's mine. It's gonna be made, it's gonna be cute, and it's gonna go on my couch. So I got bees, I got bananas, dragonflies. I was so excited about the dragonflies. So far I'm up to 2 or 3 fat quarters with dragonflies. Dog treats, because I have a dog. And pumpkins. They're little bitty pumpkins. So far I'm looking for bigger pumpkins, but anyways, so that was fun. And I got some really cool Victorian fabric. I already cut it to be a bag. I just haven't sewn the canvas on the bottom. But I love this. And there's the girl in the Victorian dress. So fun. So exciting. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's all the stuff from the Durant Quilt Store. And then, hang on. Here it is. Okay, so today I went to some quilt stores down in Frisco and McKinney. Like, I call it Frisco because this particular quilt store is right by the Frisco Mall. So I'm like, I'm going to Frisco, but it's actually in Plano because it's on the other side of 121. Anyways, I'm doing the Park Bench quilt by Jaybird Quilts as my Block of the Month club. And I picked up my Block of the Month stuff. You can really see we're doing cotton and steel. It's been so much fun. I post all my stuff on Instagram if you're interested in seeing the blocks I've done. I believe I've done block 6 and because we had to go out of order because some of the fabric they didn't get in time for us to do them in order. Because I joined late, so I didn't do 1 and 2. So I've done 3 and I think 5 and 6, maybe. I could be wrong on that. I think I put the numbers that I had on Instagram. Here, this one will tell me what number it is. This is block 7, so block 6 was October, so I haven't done that one yet because I haven't had time to. But I did, so I've done block 3 and block 5. That's what I've done. Okay, and then at Not Your Mama's Quilt Store, I got some Holly's Tree Farm back quarters because I love Holly's Tree Farm. And I love these. I love text fabric and I love all fabric, but I love text fabric. And I love these little labels, like Christmas labels. They're so cute. And then here's this one. Like, this stuff is, I don't know, I just love it. I love it. Let's see. And then I got just a blue stripe. And this has words on it. You can't read it though. It's going to be washed out. And she had a new modern background fabric that I had not seen yet. And so I added it to my collection. And then I went to Stitch with Love, which was, I went down to go to Not Your Mama see my Club of the Month thing. And then I like to see the new stuff. Everyone just went to Quilt Market down in Houston. And she had some awesome little Christmas back quarter bundles. And I wanted every one of them. Like, I really did. I really almost got at least one of them. And I was like, no, I'm going to get the few things that I came here for. And I'm going to leave. But I really want them. One of them, I think, is the fabric that's in a different kit that a friend of mine is making bags and yarn for. And because I've seen it in person now, and it's so stinking cute. Anyways, tangent. Sorry. Okay, so I love, like I said, the modern background fabric is so fun. Well, so they did like white and eggshell with modern background fabric, and then the company did what they're calling ink, and so they did like black and 2 shades of gray. So I got 4 half yards of that because I didn't have any of the ink. I only had a ton of modern background, and I really wanted some black and some shades of gray. So there's 4 in here. There's this sort of paper dots, then there's the dark gray with the math and fancy lettering, then there's these circles. I have those in the white. And then there's the fancy script on the light gray. And I still may go back and get more of it, you guys. Like, I love it so much. Before I come up with a project for it. Because I enjoy getting them. And I love going to Stitch with Love. They're so nice there. They're the sweetest people. And I'm super excited to come up with something to do with these. My sister has been using the modern, it's called like a paper pieced home, I think. Paper pieced home. And it's like all this paper piecing with things you find in your house, like a couch and a table and a TV. She's done the TV. And so I think something like modern-y like this would look really cute in that, because they're all very modern looking blocks. There's books. It's just cute. So so I'm gonna have to get into this. I have to learn to paper piece. And then I got some charm packs, which are 5-inch squares. I have the other grunge one, but I didn't have this one. And even though Girl Dare was telling me if you have them both, you can make a really cool rainbow with them, which was really my goal. And then I got the ink, because you cannot have too much of that, because it's gonna go away. It's gonna go away, and you're not gonna be able to get it. And I got the ink Moda Candy, which are 2.5-inch squares. And I got this pattern called Mini Radio Wave. And I'm thinking, because I have 2 of these, I have the other one and this one, I'm thinking I'm going to do that with this. And I have some white. I have another mini quilt that I've started. I cut out for this, it's cute, it's little bobbins. And I cut out the spools and I cut out the background. I haven't cut out the thread part, I guess. And so I'm going to use this and the other one I have for it. And so I'm thinking then what I have left, I can use to make this one. So that'll be fun. Okay. I believe. Oh, okay. So that's all of the stash stuff. I am going to show you guys my row by row quilt, because it was my first quilt and I'm super proud of it. And there are tons of mistakes in it, and I don't care. I'm happy with it. It was my first time to applique. It was my first time to really piece together a massive quilt top and to quilt a quilt top and to do a binding. I bound a mug rug, one mug rug before I did it. And so, and my first time to piece a backing together. And I didn't think about this when I bought the backing. I kind of wanted something inexpensive, because I had to buy like 4.5 yards of backing, and it's going on the back where no one's gonna see it. So I bought sale fabric, and I didn't think about the fact that I brought striped fabric instead of something with a print, like a non-directional print. And so the back is kind of all janky because of the way I cut it, because I didn't think about it. And I don't even think if I had been thinking about the striped orientation that I could have gotten them all to go the same direction. Like, I don't think I had enough fabric then to do it. So I just made it work. I was channeling Tim Gunn and saying, make it work. So let me pull it out. Okay. I'm going to have to adjust the camera, I think, to do this. So I'm going to zoom the camera out. Here's the row by row quilt that I did for 2015. In the corners are the little petals, and those are the rows I got from Not Your Mama's Quilt Store. Then if you go down on the left, that is from the Dancing Bobbin. And then on the far right, the vertical row is from the Quilt Asylum. And all of those 3 rows, I used my own fabrics. You could get a free pattern, or you could use the kits that they sold. The top row, which I used the kit, but I used my own background fabric, is from Quilt Mercantile in Celeste, where I was the row by row winner. And then the second row is from Stitch in Heaven in Mineola, Texas. Then the third row is from Kaleidoscope Quilt Shop in Whitesboro, and I used my own fabric in that row. In the Stitch in Heaven row, I used the blue and the purple were mine, I think. Actually, I think just the purple was mine. I think the other 3 were in the kit. And then there's Quilt Country is the underwater sea animals. And then the last row with the frog was from the Alfred Inn Retreat in Van Alstyne, Texas. And then I got around each row on the inside, like that purple, green, blue fabric, I got in Sedona, Arizona. and it's a batik. And then at the Whitesboro quilt store, I got the big border that's around the whole quilt, and the backing, which you can't see. And then the blue binding is a batik I got in Goodlettsville, Tennessee this summer when I went Row shopping. So that is my Row quilt. I thank you for watching and looking at it. Hi y'all, thank you so much for checking out my Row quilt. I really do appreciate it. So let me think. So I'm actually re-recording this section because my card I had ran out of memory. So I'm gonna have to go and delete a few things off of that. Anyways, so what I was basically going on about was like the upcoming year, and DFW Fiberfest will be next year, and I'm super looking forward to it. I believe signups for the classes are on the 14th of November, and Susan B. Anderson is going to be there, and I'm really looking forward to signing up for a toy making class. I really hope I get in one because her faces on all of her toys are really, really cute. And I watched the Minerva Turkey podcast, and she took her Egg to Owl class. I'm really considering that one. And a couple of the other ones. I really am. I would take all of them, honestly. So maybe the Fair Isle knitting, because I just haven't wanted to break out into Fair Isle yet. But the 5 toy making classes I would happily take. But she even mentioned, or I think Minerva Turkey's real name is Shannon. I believe she had said something about like learning to make the faces really cute in the class, and she offers a lot of tips and things. So I'm really looking forward to that. Because like in my poor little sad monster, I sewed the arms on just really weird. One of them turned out all right, the other not so much, and they're not even. One is higher than the other, so he's kind of janky. And I mean, his face is okay, but I didn't give him a mouth or anything because I don't know. I can't decide if he looks like a demon trying to kill me or not. So we're just gonna, put him over there. For those of you who celebrate Halloween, I hope you had a happy Halloween. I know it was over a week ago, but I hope you had fun. I hope your kids got to go trick-or-treating. I hope it didn't rain you out, because up here it was really trying to rain. It rained really badly the day before and after our Halloween. It was really wet and gross the day of, but we had a few trick-or-treaters. We didn't have very many, though. I think we had maybe 7 doorbell rings. And then I ran out of candy because I just gave them all a bunch. And I went to go babysit. So, yeah. It was kind of sad because it was over a period of like 3 hours, too. But, what you do. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving here in November. I know in the States we do, so nobody else celebrates our Thanksgiving anyways. Sorry. That was silly. But, have a happy Thanksgiving. What else? That's not a word. And if you go Black Friday shopping, have a lot of fun doing that. I've never gone Black Friday shopping. I don't do it. I don't get up at 4 in the morning to go buy something. I don't really. The only time I've really done something like that was I did a day after Christmas sale, and I went with my dad to Fry's and bought a Blu-ray player because I wanted a Blu-ray player. And I didn't have a lot of money, and so I was like, I can't spend, $150 on a Blu-ray player, and I got one at Fry's for $50. I was so excited. And I still have it, so yay me. But yeah, so that's the only thing I've ever really done that was, and it wasn't crazy. There was no one there. There was like 10 people in the whole Fry's, and Fry's is huge. It's a big electronics store. So when there's only 10 people in it, there's nobody in it. But I have gotten a holiday job for the school breaks because I work at a preschool that takes all the school breaks because we're also a regular school. A regular school, it sounds so silly. We have pre-primary, primary, and then we have elementary and upper elementary. So we have elementary education at our school too. So we're off for, 2 weeks in December. We aren't off for a week in November, but we are off for 3 days. And so I'm working at our Old Navy where my sister used to work. And I'll definitely be there for Black Friday, so that'll be fun. Sorry, I keep saying the word a lot. I'm not trying to. And it'll be kind of funny because my sister's boss, or one of the managers I've known for years, I've taught her children how to swim. I taught the third one actually this past summer. And she's been trying to get me to work there forever, so I'm super excited about that. And she always gets my sister confused with me because she knows me more than I guess she knows my sister. And they have little radios that they, if they need an extra cashier or if they need extra help somewhere or, whatnot, they'll call them over the radio and they'll say, I need so-and-so. And she always asks for Jessica, and I never have worked there. And so after a while, my sister is like, are you talking to me? And she responds and goes and does what she needs to. But I was asking my boss about training for tomorrow, and I told her, now you can call for a Jessica on the radio and actually get one. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'll start that tomorrow. So that'll be cool. I really think that's everything. I can't think of anything else that I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I plan to do a lot of crafting here for presents. I'm trying to, there's some people at work that I want to make some mini quilts for to hang on their walls. One lady at work loves butterflies in blue and gold. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can just use blue and gold fabric and make you a butterfly. So I'm going to try to do something like that for her. But I do have someone at work who hates quilts. She hates the texture of them, which I can't believe. So I intend to make her something too. But I was thinking I might make everybody like a pot holder or a mug rug or something, because I work with a lot of women and there's like 15 of them. So that would take a while. But she doesn't like quilts, so I was like, okay, what can I do? So I'm gonna have to come up with something for her. I don't know. I probably could still sew something. I just have to sew something else. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Anyways, I really do think this is everything. I cannot imagine chattering on more. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching my podcast. I do have a Ravelry group. It's pretty inactive. I don't do a lot in it, so it's kind of my fault. I think we're up to like 25 members, so thank you if you're someone who joined the group. Please feel free to come in and say hi, tell us what you're working on. The group is called Spindle Saga Podcast. I think that's what it's called, Spindle Saga Podcast. So feel free to join in and say hi and, participate with us or whatever. That's really it. I am Jessie Nareem on Instagram if you want to follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of sewing things on there. I'm trying to post more knitting things, but I just haven't. It's easier for me to take a picture of like a skein of yarn or a finished, quilt block than it is for me to post a picture of like me wearing a shawl, because someone else has to take the picture. So I need to get better at that. I need to get better at that. Anyways, I think that's everything. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.